Godsty Program, the podcast where we try to get you into a band. I could probably say something clever about being at a beach house, but unfortunately I'm out of clever things to say about being at a beach house, and I'm also unqualified to talk about this band. So I had to bring some people in. And Josh, it's your second time here. But I believe Beach House was actually the first band you put up. So talk to me about Beach House. Why is it that we needed to do Beach House, and why did you have to be here to talk about them?
I just feel like Beach House have like slowly wormed themselves into being one of my favorite bands over the years. And I feel like they've got a really consistent discography. So I thought they'd be a good band for a game like this. So...
I'm very sneaky. I'm very, very sneaky. Frank, I snuck you in here because Pat offhand says we're both fans of Beach House. I was like, okay, this is my in. Talk to me about Beach House. What is it that you love about Beach House, and why is this why you had to be here today?
I love my beach house, and I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to pick songs I would play at my beach house. So thank you for that. Is that not the assignment? Yeah, no, I mean, Pat is a real, like, he's Pat O'Brien, my co-host of the Smashing Pumpcast. He's a huge fan. I'm a big fan too. So I probably won't be as detailed as he is, but Beach House means a lot to me. I was introduced to them because my buddy Ryan Parrish, who some of you might have heard on the Pisces Iscariot episode, he played guitar for Hope's Fall, a band called Celebrity, and recently In Parallel. And he made a mix for me, and on that mix, there was a Beach House song, and it was Wild. And I was like, I was kind of familiar with them. Like, I'd heard their name and kind of heard them in passing. But something about that song locked me into them. And then I met my wife in 2013, and she is a big Beach House fan. And so now I have a lot of associations with my wife, and also with, before I moved to California, the album Thank Your Lucky Stars came out. And I was visiting, and I remember driving around, and that album just kind of cemented itself into my mind and my heart. And it's also a band that I very much enjoy listening to while enjoying some legal and illegal substances. Let's just say that.
Yes, partaking. So you get Beach House, I get Hanson. That's the trade-off. Beach House for you is Hanson for me. Indeed. Beach House is a band I feel like has been on the periph for me as far as their name for God knows how long. I feel like I've known people who have been very into Beach House, but I never made the leap. Nobody ever made the case, hey, you might like this. And as a matter of fact, until that, I think it was the Future Embrace episode of the Pumpcast where you guys drew the parallel there, and I was like, oh, okay, so maybe I should bump this band up the list. And finally get to them. I had no preconceived notions going into this, so clean slate here. I mean, again, at this point, 6 years into the pod, it's a lot of clean slates for me. So let's go through how we built our lists here, Josh. This was a little bit deeper than King Cruel. Talk to me how you put together your 20 for this.
Well, yeah, it was a lot more difficult than King Cruel, because I felt like with King Cruel, I'd been a fairly recent, I got into his music more recently, whereas Beach House has probably been about a decade now, which is a lot for me. And I suppose as I went through the different albums, I had to really be mindful of the fact that I quite enjoy their latest output or their later era stuff more than their earlier stuff. So I just went through all the albums, listened to some of the earlier albums a bit more, just to try to immerse myself in them again, to see whether I was just being biased because, I've got more recent recollections of the later albums, but nah, it just turns out that I enjoy their more recent stuff.
So to that point, Frank, this is your first time here.
Mm-hmm.
How did you go about picking your 20? Like, was there any gamesmanship, or did you kind of go straight forward?
Yeah, I also am a bigger fan of the later stuff. And this was extremely hard for me because they just have 8 albums, and so I went back through and tried to give the earlier albums a fair shake. But ultimately, I ended up with the songs that meant the most to me, and it was really hard to whittle it down. I have my 20, but I also have like honorable mentions, and even that's pretty long. But it was difficult, but I think I have a pretty good list here.
So I don't feel bad at all because you guys know the band, and I'm new to them. And I found myself really drawn to their later stuff, just really drawn to it. And that's not to say that the earlier stuff isn't good. It's to say that they knew what they wanted to do from the beginning, and they continually expounded upon that idea. And,
yeah,
it's funny. This is going to sound really weird coming out of my mouth, but Beach House is what Linkin Park could have been, and I don't mean that
what?
I don't mean that as a direct. I mean that as, so when you pop on Linkin Park's first record, Hybrid Theory, and you hear Paper Cut, you hear that idea of what Paper Cut is, and then they never deliver or grow upon that idea after that.
Right.
Beach House, you hear their first song, and you go, okay, I see what they're doing, and then they continually change that and grow upon that idea. And so, like, I can only imagine what Linkin Park later records would have sounded like had they had taken the same approach. But anyways, I bet you that's a line you didn't think you were gonna get drawn today. But no, I found myself in the same place you guys are. The later records just you said, Josh, the word immerse, and a lot of times like, as I'm going, as we're about to record, I try to give one last listen to my list, and immersive was the word I kept coming back to. This is very immersive music. It's, it's not great to walk to other than the fact having buds in.
No.
It's great to have, like, there's stuff I heard in the buds that I just completely missed when I was listening in my car. So just the layers upon layers upon layers of stuff happening. And again, just immersive. Like, I felt like I was the center of this music. I was just enveloped. I was swallowed. So I really dug this band, which means, there's some dancing around that could happen here. But Josh, how do you think this is going to go? For the final say, how many do you think we're going to get through unanimous?
I'll land on 4 for this one.
Okay. Yeah, that seems fair. Frank?
I was gonna say that, but for the sake of the rules of the Potter, to do something different, I'll say 6.
Ooh, I like that. I like the positivity.
Yeah.
There's only 3 of us. Like, if there's 4, like, I'd feel like you're taking a wild swing. There's only 3 of us, so 6 isn't out of the question. 4 is where I feel like it belongs. I'll split the difference. I'm going to go 5. 5 is my usual safe bet number. I'm going to go 5 because you never know. All right, we're going to take a quick pause, and we will be right back to play some game. It's the programmed, and I swear I can talk. Road to fitness with the Hard Work Works fitness app. For all ability levels. Full gym, no problem. What's included? Over 200 workout plans available for every situation, from a full gym to no equipment at all. Nutrition guide to help you stay on track, and all of this is only $10 a month. There's a special offer for deprogram listeners. Use promo code STUPID and get your first month free. The Hard Work Works fitness app. Decide, commit, succeed, and join the hustle today. With that, The name of the game is Deprogrammed. The three of us have combed through the Beach House discography and plucked out 20 songs they were now going to mash together in an attempt to create a top 10 starter kit for you, in case you have never given Beach House the time of day. Now, my inclination normally with this is to start early and go later. Something I forgot to say, it's my pod, and I somehow failed to say this. This is a band I highly recommend if you like our list and our list ends up being really late. It is worth going back to find out how they got there. It is absolutely worth listening to the earlier records. It's just the later records are the jam. I'm going to go somewhere in the middle here where like I started seeing, started gravitating towards the band. I'm going to go Myth.
Oh, unfortunately not.
I've got it.
Oh, thank God, Frank. Thank you. Okay, so 2.
Frank, you said you had that really large honorable mentions list. This was on my version of that.
I kept switching it in and out. It felt like it was a template for what Beach House was gonna kind of become.
That is exactly that. And I also strangely got Final Fantasy vibes. I'll get more into that later because there's like a more direct correlation later on my list. But like this is the line. This is where I started going, like there's more to this. And usually by the third record of, I think it's third, maybe even fourth fourth. So this is their fourth record. Usually by the fourth record in doing this, a band is kind of settled in and you kind of know what to expect. The fact that, that is sort of true, but like, this is even better than that. This is that line for me. This is where it went from, okay, I enjoy this to, okay, I really want to see what's next. So that's why I picked Myth. All right, Josh.
So I found it interesting before how you were mentioning how the band sort of expands upon an idea through their career. And I suppose one of the detractors, or what they say about the band is that they sort of keep going for the same idea. But a song I'm going to mention is Dark Spring, how they've always had this sort of psychedelic edge to their music, I found. But this song, I think, was just the perfect version of that. And it's just like every time I listen to it, it's almost like I'm in a trance.
Yeah,
I got it.
That's on my honorable mentions, but that's a great one. I love that one.
All right, see, this is what I'm talking about.
I do not have it.
Yep, a little bit of the dancing around. That's okay. All right, so it's got 2 though. Both of these songs still very much alive because it's very early. All right, Frank.
I'm going to go with one that kind of kicked them off. I'm going to go earlier. I'm going to go with Master of None.
Yeah, I got it.
It's an honorable mentions list.
Well, I feel good. Like, so far, I haven't missed, 3 songs, and I've had all 3. I feel good about that, at least. But we haven't landed on
I think it just shows, again, kind of what I said before, it just kind of shows off the huge potential that the band has. And it was the one that kind of got them on a lot of people's radar. So I just think that's kind of one of those that's, for me, I feel like it would be kind of essential.
All right. I mean, I happen to agree. So, all right. Where do I go now? Because I feel like Dark Spring was the one I was going to go to next. Let me go to that same record. How about Pay No Mind?
No.
Oh. I guess this is what I get for talking all that cash about not missing. So maybe I should have kept my mouth shut. Where is that? 7? Yeah. All right.
I think with Pay No Mind, it's sort of like its placement on the album sort of is what makes me not like it as much as some of the other cuts of 7. Because Dark Spring had so much energy and then it sort of slowed down. Whereas I find that if it was moved to a different spot, I'd like that song a lot more because it is a good song. But to me, it's almost like a big, like, full stop.
And what's funny is, like, I get that. and I have the benefit of I had listened to it again like 20 minutes ago, I guess. But even before that, like as I'm making the cuts, it already made it out of the album, so I'm listening to it separate from the album. So, yeah, I get that. I totally get that. All right, Josh.
So I feel bad for not saying Master of None because that's probably my second favorite song off their first album. But I'll submit the other one, Saltwater.
Cannot save you.
Oh man, I I had that. That was one I kept moving off and on, but I don't have it. But yeah, that one I love. It's on my honorable.
Maybe
that's a fantastic one.
Maybe Justin should have went ultra conservative and gone 2. All right, so my phone decides it doesn't want to play, so okay. All right, Frank.
I'm gonna go with the later albums. I have Black Car.
Yes,
I got it. Was that a yes from you too, Josh?
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. I could make a case for that being like my favorite song that I heard. Matter of fact, here, let's get it up so we can listen to a little bit of it. Oh God.
Good.
I got this sense of danger to it.
Yeah.
I
don't know, like if maybe I'm assigning something that wasn't really there.
Have you seen the video?
I have not.
Well, that would probably add to it. It's really cool.
Oh, okay. So I'm not far. Like initially,
No.
the funnily enough, like the name of the song is Black Car, but like the first thing I thought of was like a cave in like in my backyard, like this ominous, like just something drawing me in, just telling me, hey, come check this out, come look at this. And then when I looked down at the name of the song, like as I'm walking, I was like, oh, the name of the song is Black Car. Then it kind of took on a darker meaning of like a stranger in a car beckoning me to come to it or something. Like there's this ominous feeling to this song. And again, I don't know if I'm assigning something that doesn't belong there, but that's the feeling I got.
I think you're spot on. It's got such a nocturnal feeling to it. Like it very much is a song that is enhanced by playing it at night. And yeah, it does it does have that sort of eerie feeling to it. And I think that's what is like the coolest part about the song is that it really, as you said, immersion. It puts you in a sort of a weird mood.
Whoa.
Okay, phone.
I personally it's the Black Car made it haunted. I love this song because it's one of those, I don't know what it's called exactly. I know we've mentioned it on the podcast, but when it's an audio illusion where there's a time signature that you settle into at the beginning, as more instruments come in or the vocals, it kind of shifts into this other kind of rhythm or feeling. And I love when songs can do that, where you have a set rhythm or tone and it just kind of builds and changes, and it's a really it's one of my favorites. I think it's probably my top 5.
I love this one. So okay, I mentioned Final Fantasy, so I might as well get this one out of the way. This one was like a direct correlation. Like I listened to Myth and got that vibe, and then this one came up next in my playlist, and I was like, wait, but this actually sounds like the Final Fantasy intro. I've never said this word aloud, but I've seen it. You could also make the case for Minecraft. Lazuli?
Yes. Lazuli?
Lazuli? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to say it, but I've seen it a million times.
I've got that.
Word. Yeah, that had a very, like the opening riff it's very, very Final Fantasy 7 or even 3. All right, Josh?
I I think just for the pure nostalgia, I'd go Walk in the Park, because that's the first song I heard from them, and it's just a great song.
Dang, I can't save you.
I don't have it. Sorry.
Oh, man, my phone is haunted. All right, well, we're just gonna have to skip it because my phone doesn't want to cooperate. All right, Frank.
I'm gonna go to Thank Your Lucky Stars, and I'm gonna pick Elegy to the Void.
Yes, great
Okay.
song.
This is the first time I've failed you both.
Oh,
But it's a 2.
I'll tell you what, if you can, listen to that a live version of that, because that's almost like the centerpiece of the show. Like the end, the outro, and the guitar solo, it just keeps going and getting more and more intense. It's so good.
I meant to ask you guys, like, have either of you seen them live, or is this kind of like just something you've seen out and about, like on YouTube or something? Like what that experience would be like.
Yeah,
I haven't. Go ahead.
Sorry, you go, mate.
Oh, yeah, I haven't had the pleasure of seeing. Every time I have the worst luck with trying to see them live. Something either comes up or I just can't afford it. But Pat's been a couple of times and he says it's like a religious experience. I've only watched on YouTube.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I've seen them twice. The whole experience, like they have great visuals as well, and I feel like they've gotten better over time. You know, having live drumming, but yeah, each time they'll really good.
Are we back around to me already? Yeah, because Elegy was Frank, right? So we're back to me. Let me try something off of Once Twice Melody. How about that? As a matter of fact, let's go to the title track, Once Twice Melody.
I do not.
Sometimes you take the chance. Sometimes you miss. You miss wildly. I really, really, really enjoyed Once Twice Melody, if I could speak. All right.
Yeah, that's a good one.
We're just gonna have to, until we get another oh, there it is. God, you would think I would know what I was doing by now, but whatever. All right.
Well, it's with Once Twice Melody, it was broken up. The album was broken up into 4 parts in terms of when it was released, and that was the first 4 songs of Once Twice Melody was, I'm just gonna say an EP, even though it wasn't. And like that was the first song. I'm like, oh, this is a really good start. And then Superstar coming in, Pink Funeral, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is amazing.
Yeah,
I think it's just unlucky that it's got such amazing songs around it as well.
Okay, no, that makes sense. Again, it's easy for me to say, it's this way because I'm new to it. So, all right, Josh.
Well, I was just farting on about it, so I might say it now. Pink Funeral of Once Twice Melody, I just think I think that their experimentation there really pays off. It's just sort of amazing. The drumming is different. It's almost like trap drums, and the beat changes around a few times, and I feel like it sort of has, not quite in the vein of Black Car, but it's sort of got a creepy feeling to it as well, I think.
Well, I can't save you.
It was at the top of my honorable mentions. I kept taking it in and out, but it's one of my favorites from that from Once Twice.
There it is. I'm just gonna do it from my computer. I think maybe it's funny. I plucked a lot from Once Twice Melody, and I think maybe I could have used a full-on entire album re-listen, and I probably would have come out with totally different songs. All right, Frank.
I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with The Traveler.
Ah, that's a good song.
I got it. I can save you. I can save you. Let me switch this to ABC so I can find it faster. The Traveler. Justin and Frank. All right. We got a lot of twos here. Are we out of the NTP? Nope, not yet. Okay. Let me go back up towards somewhere in the middle. How about Space Song?
Yeah.
I've got that.
Hey, there we go. There we go.
It's funny because that's almost, I feel like that's their big song, or like their biggest song by now, especially with TikTok and everything. But
Oh yeah,
it's just, I couldn't leave it out. I couldn't be a snob about it because it's just such a good song. Like, I kept coming back to it, and I'm like, well, I can't.
Well, again, like the idea that I got from the band was immersive, and this is one of those cases where like you feel immersed, and it builds. And also, if you would have told me that, we're doing some band that's got, routinely 5-minute songs, and I would be in at this point in the show's career, I'd call you a fool, because normally I like, let's get to the point, so they've done something here in converting me into like, cool, very patient. They've made me very patient.
yeah.
All right. So
It's almost like watching a new show on Netflix or not watching it and then knowing it's good, but knowing that you have to watch 6 or 7 seasons, and you're like, I don't think I'll be able to live my life if I start getting into these guys.
uh-huh. I can relate. More on this later, but your boy may or may not have gone through almost 18 seasons of Grey's Anatomy recently, so I don't know what this says about me. All right, Josh.
Well, yeah, that's a fair effort. I think I might go for another cut from Thank You Lucky Stars. Majorette, I think, is such a nice breezy opener.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
I've got that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I feel like it's something that they haven't, like, it's different. Of course, it's got the same sort of moods as the other songs, but it's more guitar led, and I really like that sort of direction. It's not based around the synths as much.
It's a great opener too.
Hold on, let's get a little volume here. There we go. It's a great
Very
mood.
breezy.
Yeah. A great mood.
This one reminds me of visiting California before I moved here.
And just like that, we got 3 unanimous.
Yeah.
All right, Frank.
I'm gonna go with House on the Hill.
Can't save you there.
That's all right. I just love how massive it gets at a certain point. Like a horror tent revival.
Did we lose you, Josh?
Sorry?
Did you have House on the Hill?
No, sorry.
Okay. I feel bad for a lot of like the earlier record stuff. I mentioned this before, but like this is a good time to like kind of reiterate. I found it easier to cut the earlier stuff because of knowing, like, because if I had to bet, this was on my first pass. But as I'm coming back through to make my next round of cuts, like I found the earlier stuff easier to cut because I didn't find myself as immersed. And maybe that's not fair because the band had time to grow in their newer stuff, but it just didn't grab me the same way. So I just
I mean, I think once it gets like the last minute or two is where it gets really good. Yeah.
You know what's funny is like, because you say that, and then like I was just going on about, you know, a band that, you know, routinely does 5 minutes and 20 seconds. This is 3 minutes and 15. So the fact that this didn't get me somehow is kind of crazy. All right, so we're back around to me, huh? Let me try something a little earlier too. How about Astronaut?
Nope.
No.
Okay. This song specifically made me think of I think the name of the episode is Horse Out of Water or something, of BoJack Horseman.
Oh yeah.
And it specifically made me think of that whole episode, like, because it has that underwater feel to it.
Yeah.
Which is funny because the name of the song is Astronaut. So, all right. Josh?
I might choose Darling. That's probably the last early-ish song I've got left. This song just grew on me a lot.
I cannot save you. No.
No, I don't have it, but I love that song.
All right. It's just to see where we are. 3. We need one more to get out of NTP. One more double match or... All right, Frank, no pressure.
Oh, boy. Let's see. I wanted to do something from the latest album, but I'll just go ahead and do it. I'll take a swing. Masquerade.
Oh, nope. Nope.
All right.
Was that a no from you as well, Josh?
Yeah.
I think we both said it at the same time, so...
Tell you what, like, I haven't... So, like, the new album, you know, obviously hasn't been around as long. But I remember going back to it again after, like, at the start of this process, and there was probably 10 or 11 really good songs. So, like, I actually had to really work hard to narrow it down.
Yeah, to that point, I have 5 from that record, which is far and away the most of any of the records. So that to me says something. And I'm looking at the date now. It came out this year, May 30th. So that says,
Full thing, yeah.
Yeah, that says something to me. I think we must have put this panel together like early June, so like right after the record came out. So, all right. Well, let me stay on that record then, see if I can find you guys. How about Superstar?
Yeah.
That is in my honorables.
Okay. All right.
So no.
It's got 2. And that officially takes us out of NTP, which means nothing is coming out of the trash for this one. I'm into it. All right. Josh?
For this next one, I might choose one from the new album as well. Modern Love Stories. I just thought this was a really cool closer to the album.
I got it.
It's on my honorables. Sorry. God damn it.
But I think we officially just gave ourselves we officially have a conversation afterwards. So, all right, Frank?
I'm going to go with... Looking at here. All Your Yes.
Nope.
Nope. I do not have that one. Okay. I'm down to 6. So what I think we'll do here is like maybe we'll do 2 more rounds and then just dump out from there.
Cool.
How about PPP?
Yep.
Nope.
All right. We may miss that 3, but at least we're gonna have to converse to get this down. All right, Josh.
Good one.
I'm gonna go with Days of Candy from Depression Cherry. That choir opening is so epic and heavenly.
Well, now
I don't have it.
and now I feel bad. Speaking of depression. All right, Frank.
I'm gonna go with Wild.
No.
No. This is that part of the show, so we'll do one more and then dump out. We probably could.
Boy.
We probably could dump from here.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll take one last swing at this. How about Woo?
No, but that is a nice song.
Okay.
It's a great song.
All right, Josh.
I'm gonna go with Beyond Love.
No,
I do not have it.
that one must have been a late cut because I was looking at my page like I did have it. All right, Frank.
Oh. Go with. Let me just see what album. Stay on Depression Cherry. I'm gonna go with Wildflower.
Nope.
Damn.
All right. Let's see if I can find you guys with these random ones I got left. All right, starting at the top, Silver Soul.
Nope.
That was honorable.
So I mean, at least it was on the radar. All right. Take Care.
I do like that song.
Yeah, that's on mine. My honorable too.
All right. Let's see.
It's very long.
It's very, very long. Almost as long as your other list.
Pretty much.
How about New Romance?
Yeah, that's a really good song.
I do not have that.
All right. Landed one at least into the combo. And last but not least, Only You Know.
Nope.
No.
Okay. All right. You got a chance to maybe land a couple, Josh, if you can match up with Frank.
10 Mile Stereo.
That was honorable.
Close. Levitation?
I love that one. No. Should have picked that one though.
Don't worry, I've had the same feeling for like 10 songs. I'll go with Drunk in LA.
No.
Can I tell you something about that song? That almost got a pass just because I know Frank and Pat live in LA. And I was like, I gotta go deeper than that. So
I've got 2 more, and that's it for me. If you want me to say them,
yeah.
ESP off the new album,
No.
and then last but not least, Girl of the Year.
No.
Oh. All right. And just for fun, you want to dump out whatever you got left, Frank?
And mine that were left, it looks like Equal Mind. Let's see, House Journey.
All right.
Wait, hold on. Not House Journey. What is that? What did I do? I think it auto-corrected. Did I accidentally do... Oh, I don't know. I think I fucked up that one. Saturn song. Le 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 Incanu.
Better you saying it than me.
Yeah. Alien.
Oh,
And...
I didn't know we could choose Alien. I would have chosen that for sure.
I know. That was probably a cheat because it's a single.
But I would definitely choose that.
That's a great song. Childhood and Lovelier Girl, even though I guess they ripped it off.
All right. So, let's see. What do we got here? 3 unanimous. That means none of us get the final say. We've got Black Car, Majorette, and Space Song are in. And then we have 10 in the conversation that we need to trim down to 7. So we've got Dark Spring, Elegy to the Void, Lazuli, Master of None, Lazuli. I don't know why I can't decide how it's like Billy with Tear. Master of None, Modern Love Stories, right. Myth, New Romance, PPP, Superstar, and The Traveler. All right, let me ask you this, Josh. Are any of those 10 standing out as that one probably should have been in?
I think Dark Spring. That's probably my favorite song of theirs.
I agree.
Okay, so Dark Spring. Let's go ahead and let me switch this to that and pop Dark. Same question to you, Frank. Is there something that landed a 2 that you feel like should have been a 3?
Yeah, probably Master of None.
How do you feel about that, Josh?
Well, that was like probably 21st or 22nd on my list, so definitely happy to have that through.
All right, so let's pop that one through. All right, so that already brings us up to halfway. So now let's try to think of it this way. Is there one that doesn't belong? One that it's like, cool, you got this far, but maybe you can hit the floor now. Still remaining: Elegy to the Void, Lazuli, whatever it is. I'm going to say it different every time, apparently. Modern Love Stories, Myth, New Romance, PPP, Superstar, and The Traveler.
See, this is really hard because we all had probably 20 songs in our honorable mentions, so
yeah,
I wouldn't know what to cut out because they're all pretty high quality.
As far as sounds, is there something that we need to be okay? Actually, I think the next logical question is, obviously, do we care about album representation? We have 2 from 7, 1 from Beach House, 1 from Depression Cherry, and 1 from Thank Your Lucky Stars. We've got a couple here from Once Twice. Let's see, a couple from Bloom, and none from Team Dream. So I guess that's out. So do we care about album representation? Do we want to try to get something from everything in, or at least everything that we can?
I think certainly with Bloom, that's always sort of spoken as their like breakout album. So like I think we definitely do need a song from there, even though they weren't my picks.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got Myth or you guys just want me to say it a million times. Lazuli? Do we want one or do we want both?
Well, definitely put Myth through because I can't say the other one. I think that's a fair reason.
I agree with Myth.
All right, so let's do that, and then we can revisit the other one later if we need it. So we've got 6. Okay, so Bloom's taken care of. Let's look at Once Twice Melody. We've got Modern Love Stories, New Romance, and Superstar.
I might pump for Superstar here, just because initially that was the first song that stood out to me. And I think it's a song that people with different tastes could enjoy.
What do you think, Frank? Superstar?
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right. Boom.
I can dig it.
So that takes us, 7? Okay. Now the tough questions. We got 3 left. So do we just kind of like a draft situation where we're just best available 3? Or would you prefer making cuts and doing it the hard way? Or, I mean, I think either way, it's probably, let me say this.
Well,
actually, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to make a case for one song.
Go for it. By all means.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I'm a simple man. Probably Elegy to the Void, I really think should be on there. That's just me.
I'm glad, because I was going to say that too.
Okay, well then, that makes it easier for me to put my stamp of approval. I am but a simple caveman. All right. So now we've got 2, and we're down to the one that none of us can say: Modern Love Stories, New Romance, PPP, and The Traveler. To stay, to go. Do we need more than one from Once Twice Melody, I guess is the question. I mean, it did come out earlier this year. I mean, obviously 3 or 4 of the songs were good enough that 3 of the songs were good enough that 2 of us had it on our list. That does say something. But if somebody's trying to get into the band, do we point them to the new record?
I love the new album, but I feel like if you're getting into a new band, after you start with, this playlist, I think the new album's a logical place for them to go to next.
Mm-hmm.
So,
right.
As much as I love those songs, you probably could put in just some of their older stuff, I think.
There we go. See?
If we're going purely from a playlist point of view, but I don't know, they're all good, so.
All right, so then that means one of these has to go. Lazuli, PPP, or The Traveler?
Look, I didn't have Lazuli or The Traveler, but I probably prefer The Traveler out of those 2. And that was good live as well, so that's going to be my tenuous logic for pumping for that one.
All right. So let's grab The Traveler. And then, Frank, I'll leave the final decision here to you. Lazuli or PPP?
Oh, boy. Oh, no. Oh. Well, let's see. I'm looking at... Sorry. I'm just kind of making... Sharing... Well, I guess it would be the same amount. I'm gonna go with PPP.
Easier to say. So I'm with it.
Yeah.
All right.
Does anyone
PPP.
actually know what PPP stands for?
Not at all. But when I see it, wasn't that a pandemic thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that.
Yeah.
That's what I think of every time I see it.
Apparently, I'm looking here. It says piss poor planning.
I like it. Same thing. Same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So, just to go off what it says online, the couple in this song are getting married, and one of them is having doubts about whether or not they're ready for the plunge. So thanks, Genius.com.
Well, there you go. All right, so let's crank up the heat here. So here's our 10. Black Car, Majorette, Space Song, Dark Spring, Master of None, Myth, Superstar, Elegy to the Void, The Traveler, and PPP. Josh, of those 10, which one do you think is the one?
I know what I prefer, but in saying that, if we're going as the lead song, I think Space Song is an obvious one, just because I think it's already shown to be a song that people from all walks of life enjoy.
All right. Frank, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay. I could make a case for Black Car, but I think Space Song is probably more...
Second choice, yeah.
Yeah, Space Song is probably more on brand for what we want it to do. So let's do it. Space Song it is. And boom, let me push play. Justin, when will you learn?
Wait, look, I can be swayed on this one. I can be swayed. I know it's a bit late, but
look, I do think Black Car could do the same thing, but I think if I send you Black Car, you might assume Dark and Ominous. I think Space Song is more what they do than what Black Car is. So
let's just have a double lead off.
I'll put Black Car at number 2.
Going from that light sort of feeling to just death.
Yeah. All right. So Space Song is our number 1. And Black Car, Majorette, Dark Spring, Master of None, Myth, Superstar, Elegy to the Void, The Traveler, and PPP round out our top 10. Let's let Space Song get a moment in the sun.
From an empty sea, a flash of light. It will take a while to make.
And to think, it builds even more from there, to think. All right. We have done it. We have... Look, you can thank us later, or you can thank us now. Either way, we got you into Beach House. You're welcome. If you enjoyed this program, patreon.com/ohhijustin is a great place to go to support financially. If that is something you would like to do, $1 gets you in the door. It gets you a thank you podcast a month, and it gets you early access to the show, Deprogrammed. There's different tiers where you can get in and you get other and more content and different access to levels on the Discord and all that great stuff. Check it out if that's something you'd like to do. To me, the best way you can help this program is by telling somebody that you listen to Deprogrammed. I would appreciate that a great deal. So think about doing that. You can also subscribe on all podcast platforms. All that stuff is great. And, subscribe, rate, comment. I guess all that stuff is supposedly what you're supposed to say when you do a podcast. I don't know, man. Most of all, if you heard this and you were like, I'd like to do that, go to legionstupid.com. You'll click on podcasts. You'll click on Deprogrammed. You'll scroll about halfway down and you'll find yourself a sign-up sheet. And if that is something you want to do, you can sign up, tell me what band you want to talk about, and we will. I guarantee it. Somebody signed, why can't I remember her name? I had it right at the ready. Oh well. I'll remember it when we're doing After the Fact, which you can get if you go to patreon.com/ohhijustin. That's a perk. I think that covers everything. So with that, where is Reaper? I am a real professional. With that, Beach House, learn and love them, people. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.